When it comes to deciding whether or not to accept an offer on the house you're selling, there are 4 factors other than price that you need to consider. We'll take a look at them right after this short commercial. This video is brought to you by PARealestateresources.com, the best website to buy, sell, or invest in South Central Pennsylvania real estate. You can find a link in the description below after, of course, you finish watching this video and click on the subscription button over here. Thanks for watching and make it a great day. Now that that's out of the way, the first factor that home sellers need to look at when considering an offer to purchase their home is the contingencies. A contingency is some condition that has to be met before the transaction can move forward. Now, there are 4 contingencies that tend to pop up most often. There are others, but these are the top 4. The most common one is the inspections. If included in the purchase offer, the buyer will have the right to bring in a certified inspector to inspect various aspects of the home. This could be the major systems in the house, like the HVAC, the roof, or the electrical system. It could also be the well and or the septic system, if applicable. Government-backed loans like FHA and VA will usually require an inspection for termites and other wood-destroying insects. Now, since most home purchases are financed, many buyers will make their offer contingent on being able to get a mortgage. The seller will want to make sure the buyer has a rock-solid pre-approval letter and may even want to see proof that the buyer has the required cash on hand for the down payment and closing costs. Now, interestingly enough, many realtors mess this up. The Pennsylvania Standard Agreement of Sale does not say the buyer can terminate the agreement if they don't get the mortgage. The form does say the buyer has to continue to make a good faith effort to secure financing. Only the seller can terminate if the buyer cannot get financing. Now, from a practical viewpoint, it's usually in the seller's best interest to terminate the agreement so they can get on with selling the house to someone else. And that brings us to our third contingency, the appraisal. This is the contingency some buyers will use to make sure the house appraises for an acceptable amount, and if included in the contract, gives the buyer the right to terminate. There are some ins and outs to this contract addendum that we can discuss when we talk. On a more balanced market, sometimes the buyers will need to sell their old house so they can buy a new one. This is called a property to sell contingency. If your house is vacant and you're looking for a quick settlement, this could be a sticking point. If, on the other hand, you'd like some time to pack and move, this could also work in your favor. It also depends on where the buyers are in the sales process of their old house. The second factor sellers need to consider is the settlement timeline. Does the proposed settlement date work for you? Again, how fast do you want your money? Remember, everything in real estate is negotiable, and that includes the date of settlement. Third, we need to take a look at the escrow deposit money the buyer is willing to put down. The escrow deposit is money the buyer is putting into escrow as a sign of good faith and their intention to close the transaction. If they decide to walk away simply because they changed their minds, they stand to lose that money. You'll want to make sure they feel the pain of changing their minds. Finally, closing costs. In a buyer's market, it's not unheard of for buyers to ask the sellers to pay some of the closing costs. This takes the form of a credit given to the buyer at settlement. In a strong seller's market, the seller could ask the buyer to contribute more money to help defray the seller's expenses. We commonly see this in the form of the buyer offering to pay both sides of the transfer tax. But again, everything in real estate is negotiable. If you have any questions about how to evaluate an offer, just ask them in the comment section down below. I'll get right back to you. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and make it a great day.